Coming at you guys.
Woo! With a beer review. We've got a good beer here, we know from reputation. And we're told we needed to drink it right away from Dan ABA. Right, Dan? That's what Dan said. So here it is. It is the Sucaba 2015. I think we started this with the 2012. It was our first time to have it, and we loved it. And that one was a little bit more of a heavy hitter, I hear. This one's drinkable now. It's great today. Although that one was high in booze, and I think we loved it then too.
Oh, we love booze.
It is a barrel-aged English barley wine, a 13.5% ABV, and 42 IBUs. And they tell a little bit of how they make it.
Yeah, they got quite a bit of fun malts. They had the Muntons Pale. They also have the Crisp Maris Otter Pale. They have the Munich. They also have dark and light crystal malts along with chocolate malts. That's pretty awesome. And for bittering, they have Bravo hops.
Yeah.
And and then a late edition of Kent East Goldings.
Yeah, the East Kent Golding. So we're gonna have to get through all the box and everything. We'll be right back with a pour.
Oh, look at that. It's got some nice red hues to it, like an amber, dark amber. A nice extra pour. But it's got a nice tan head. It's got, I don't know, a little bit of a red hue in it also, though.
Yeah, I could watch the bubbles rising up. So it's like a super dark amber to brownish in color, yeah. With a thin head, but very inviting. So let's get a nose on it.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not a poker face guy.
It's not boozy? It's drinkable now?
Well, there's a little bit of booziness, but it's creamy. It's got a creamy with some vanilla and some wonderful caramel and toffee aromas hitting you right off the top.
Oak barrels, because I get the vanilla.
Oh, it's American oak they used.
Oh my.
And toasted coconut. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's there.
Oh man, the vanilla and the toasted coconut with that toffee, and the caramel. I mean, it's just, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, you can taste the malty base with the smell, basically.
I get some hint of some kind of a dark fruit. Actually makes me think of like date sugar right now.
Yeah,
in the aroma. You know, there might be a hint of that chocolate malt in there just lightly.
Yeah, very light.
But mostly it's just a rich, sweet.
I mean, it couldn't have been that much. I mean, look how light it is compared to.
Yeah.
You know, they did do a lot of pale malts.
Man, I don't know about you, man, but I'm ready to jump in there.
I think I need a mouthful.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
drooling.
Me too. Whoa! On the backside, I got the bourbon.
Yeah.
And it was hardcore. For some of you, might be a bit too much, but for me, it was just this nice, like quarter shot of bourbon that went in.
It
in there.
like tastes like bourbon. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
You get the barley wine. It's very mellow, not very hoppy, and then boom, shot of bourbon at the end.
You know what's nice is I've just let this first one sit, and I'm getting that American oak. I mean, this is an American oak, I can tell. It's not French oak. And I get a little bit of the light bit of the tannins, on the back of my throat.
Yeah, very light.
The bourbon kind of hung in there, but I'm getting just loads of oak now that I'm just letting it sit there, which is fun. The front side, this hits you with a blast of toffee and caramel, both very rich, and it's pretty thick, don't you think? It almost has a maple syrupy kind of a quality, a thin maple syrup, the way it coats the mouth, and I kind of love that. Yeah.
And it doesn't hide that it's 13.5%. I'm just gonna say that right now.
No, I don't think it does. I think you're right. This is pretty smooth, I think. And I think almost the level of oak on it is actually a detractor, if anything, for it at this point in the game.
Yeah, but I am starting to get bits of taste of the chocolate malts in there as it's starting to warm up a little bit, air out.
And I've got a little bit of that like kind of cola taste, like a cherry cola. So you're getting a hint of like some dark cherry on there maybe, and like those, like I said, cola type flavors. Wow, it's a beautiful beer. I think what we need to do is let this warm up, take a little bit, come back as it's warm, describe it again, and come up with numbers.
I think so.
Yeah, like a genie.
We're gonna.
So we've taken some time with this, been enjoying it. What new or different impressions do you get from this, Christian?
I'm getting a lot more of the coconut, toasted coconut in there, and it's a lot smoother, less of a bourbon taste to it at the end.
The bourbon's still there, which is good, because I mean it's a huge component. I didn't just snorted saying that. It's lovely. It just tastes wonderful. But I get almost more toffee than caramel, and it's a great flavor. That base malt. Oh my lord, that's good. Still getting like the light cola with a little bit of that dark cherry on there. Some of the toasted coconut. It's just really smooth. Maybe get a little bit of leather, but I think that's almost like part of the oak and the oak tannins coming in. The one thing I would say about this year compared to other years have been bigger and almost boozier in some ways, but bigger. And they've had, the oak hasn't dominated, so they pulled in a lot of oak tannins on it, which honestly takes away. Still, it's just a really beautiful beer.
So, what do you think about this as an English barley wine then?
You know, I mean, it's a beautiful beer. It's just a lot going on. It's great, but for me, you know, I like the huge big tastes that have come in previous years, and it seems they keep toning this down to make it more drinkable today. And I like the huge, monstrous beers that are big now. You can age them. You can get multiple bottles and open them over the years. Oh, yeah. This is something that opened now. I don't know how much the oak tannins can tone down, and I think that's a big detractor. So I can't give it quite that same score that I normally do. I think it's still a world-class beer, but I'm giving it a 96.
Yeah, I'm right there, 96. Like, I just feel like I've known this beer before, and it's gone big and boozy, and you can open up a year later, 5 years later, and it's still great. And this one just had a lot of tannins, like you said, like the oak, and it kind of detracted from it. So 96.
I know you could age it longer, but boy, I wouldn't want to give it probably more than 2 years. It's just not that same level. Overall, though, what do you think about that?
It's still a good beer. I don't know if I put in the world class ranking just because of where it is, but it's excellent. Like, it's a good beer. I'm gonna give it a 94. It's Firestone Walker. They don't make bad beer. I mean, I haven't tried one yet that I hate.
Yeah, I had my number there already, 94. You know, sometimes we're a world apart, but sometimes, man, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Well, here it is.
It is. It is the Sucaba 2015, or if you go to some place where the people aren't trained, they might call it succubus, like I once had. That's always fun. Firestone Walker Brewing Company out of Paso, Robles, California. You know, this one's definitely worth giving a try.
And you know what? I think it is definitely one of those beers that I gotta say, life is too short
to drink cheap beer.
And we will see you.
Oh yes, on the next beer review.
Well, they got the malts in there. It's the Malton's Pales.
Muntins.
Muntins.
Yeah.
Muntins.
Muntins.
Muntins. What are you thinking about this as a, you know, English?
Try that again.
Yeah.
Bria, bria, bria. That's all, folks. That was horrible.